What I've learned from the comments I've received on my recent videos on hi-fi include these. Hi-fi is a much more popular topic than pro audio. The hi-fi community is incredibly engaged, passionate and vocal. Despite the near-universal use of digital audio, analog has most definitely not gone away, and people want to get the best experience from their system. So, today I'd like to comment on how to get the most from your hi-fi, I mean really get the most out of it. Don't forget, these are just my opinions. I'm not a hi-fi god or even a guru, but I do know a thing or two, and so do my viewers. So I'd like to receive your comments. I can't possibly reply to all the comments I get on my channel, but I do set aside time to read them all, and often they inspire me for new topics for my videos. By the way, I made a little mistake in one of my videos a while ago, and a commenter has set me right. So I'll be making a video on that in the near future. Anyway, how to get the most from your hi-fi. Let's set a few parameters first. I don't mean digital hi-fi. As I've said, digital is accurate, but it's boring. In fact, I don't think I'd even call it hi-fi. Hi-fi should be analog, past, present, and future. I don't mean ridiculously high-end audiophile hi-fi that only BBC sports commentators can afford. I mean high-end, where you'd buy a second-hand car rather than a new one, so there was enough in your hi-fi budget for a good system. I don't mean cassette or reel-to-reel tape. I might count Nakamichi as hi-fi, but that's about as far as I'll go. Reel-to-reel tape is either vintage pro audio or a different hobby entirely. Did I say that I don't mean digital? That includes compact disc and mini disc too, for that matter. I do mean a turntable, cartridge and tone arm from manufacturers that serve the audiophile market. I do mean preamp and power amp, similarly from a hi-fi manufacturer, not a recording studio or public address company. And speakers that would be too big for most significant others to tolerate. So, you have all of that, or you're on your way with a basic system that you hope to upgrade. Next, your records. Now, this is interesting, and I could have made a whole video on this topic. Your taste in music is your business, not mine, so I won't comment on that. But there are things you need to consider when building your vinyl library. Firstly, there's all the music in the world on streaming services, so you don't have to satisfy all of your music needs with vinyl. You could enjoy hi-fi perfectly well with 20 or 30 records. And as your aim is to enjoy hi-fi, maybe you should choose records that have been noted as being among the hi-fi greats. Now, where should you source these records from? Well, you could go very high-end and buy extremely high-quality vinyl pressings from the likes of Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, or MoFi for short. A copy of Michael Jackson's Thriller, mastered from the original analog master tapes, will set you back $100. That sounds like a lot of money, and it is. But when you place value in something, you treat it with more respect, and you get more value out of it. Suppose you pay $1,000 for your turntable. That's the same as 10 highest of the high-quality vinyl records. I can see an equivalence there. Or you could find a cheaper vinyl version. I see Thriller on Amazon in the UK at just under £25. Who knows what twists and turns the original master went through to get to Amazon's warehouse and your next day prime delivery. So I'm a bit sceptical there. But you love your hi-fi and you need vinyl that you can love. Maybe vinyl that has been pre-loved. So I'm looking at Parlogram Auctions. They have a lovely channel on YouTube, by the way, that I will recommend to you. Link in the description. First up on their listing today is John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Milk and Honey in superb, near mint condition at £89.99, or just over $100 US. I don't have any connection with Parlogram Auctions, so I don't know all the ins and outs. Maybe this record is new old stock. Maybe it has been pre-loved by a hi-fi enthusiast who uses a very low tracking force. Maybe it has been owned but hardly ever played. I don't know. What I do know, however, is that you're not just buying a unit off a production run. You're buying a unique item, something that no one else has. No one else's copy has the same patina of age or previous use. This vinyl record will be special to you when you own it and you love it. Here's another source for classical music lovers who have some spare cash to spend. Revolutions, or revolutions33.co.uk, there's a link in the description, are currently offering for sale a 3-box vinyl set of Pierre Fournier playing Bach's 6 suites for solo cello, which some musicologists think were actually written by Mrs. Bach. But I digress. So, this is an Archive German original pressing. I've probably pronounced Archive wrong, but I'm sure a commenter will correct me if necessary. It's in a cloth, presumably cloth-covered box. It includes a booklet and card. The condition is near mint and is a lovely copy in perfect condition worthy of a museum. And it's stereo. There isn't a date for this on the Revolutions page, but Discogs lists it as 1961. OK, what's not to like? Fournier was a great cellist. I know from my own experience that Archive is a great label, and this copy is in near mint condition. Oh, you want to know the price? 1,000 Great British pounds. 1,000 pounds. That's around $1,200 US, plus £5 postage in the UK. 1,005 pounds. Would you ever dare play it? Anyway, there's a third source of vinyl I'd like to mention, and that is crate digging at a car boot sale. There's a car boot sale close to me every other Sunday from April to September. There will be, I'm guessing, a couple of 100 stalls. I've never counted them all, but there are a lot. Among them, there will be maybe 10 to 20 stalls with cardboard boxes full of records casually dumped under a wallpaper paste table. Not record dealers, but people who are clearing out their attic, selling the possessions of a deceased relative, or maybe someone selling the last dregs of a house clearance. And among those crates, there will be gems, I guarantee it. OK, there's going to be a lot of dross that no one should ever have to listen to again. But in my crate digging days, I found some fascinating stuff. Of course, the problem is going to be condition. But again, this is reality. It's texture. It's getting your hands on something that's unique to you, with that scratch on track 4 of side 1 and that little crackle towards the end. OK, next topic. So now you have a hi-fi system of reasonable quality. You've set up your listening room so you can sit comfortably equidistant between your speakers, or as near as you can get when seated on your richly upholstered Chesterfield sofa with your most favourite friend. You have a small but cherishable vinyl collection. Now what? Are you going to put on a record and listen to it? Come on, you're not treating your vinyl, your hi-fi, or your own listening experience with proper respect. Let me give you a perspective. Over 8 weeks of summer, the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, puts on a series of promenade concerts at the Albert Hall. Promenade meaning that people in the arena stand. They are familiarly known as the Proms. When I go to an evening concert, I buy my ticket online at 10:30, which is as soon as day tickets are available. I leave my house at 2:30 p.m, travel by car just a couple of miles to the Oxford Tube bus stop, get on the bus around 3, and arrive at London's Notting Hill Gate at 4. I walk through the beautiful Kensington Gardens to the Albert Hall and get my raffle ticket, which reserves me a place in the queue at around 4:20. I then go back to Kensington Gardens, admire the Albert Memorial, read my book, and return to the queue just before it starts to move at 6:30. Eventually, I'm in the arena, usually around second row from the front, at 7. The concert starts at 7:30. Proms concerts are usually fairly short, so the latest I'm out will be around 10. Kensington Gardens is now closed, so I walk through Kensington Palace Gardens, the street where all the major embassies are and the British police are armed, to my bus stop. I get home by about 11:30. What's the point of this? I spend 9 hours out of my day to hear some music. Not just hear music, experience a performance. The atmosphere, sights, sounds, smells and everything. And maybe a pre-concert panini from the Albert Hall's cafe bar, if I'm feeling peckish. This is how you should treat your hi-fi experience, as a performance, as an experience. So you don't just play a record on the spur of the moment, you plan an evening for your vinyl performance. You plan a programme covering a range of music, taking you on a journey from beginning through moods and emotions, highs and lows, to a towering crescendo or a distant fading of voices at the end. You plan an interval during which you will quaff Zinfandel from a Riedel glass, or maybe even a nice Chianti. At the end, you'll lift the stylus, sit back down, relax and absorb what you've just heard. No, not just heard, experienced. And you'll congratulate yourself that you are indeed a true audiophile. See you soon.